I've listed the information at the top of the page. My first question to you is, who is on the train track longer? The freight train or the passenger train? We're going to need to know that in a minute. Who leaves first? The freight train. The freight train takes off. Now, he doesn't go as fast. And 2 hours later, the passenger train leaves, and they're on parallel tracks, and passenger passes the freight in 10 hours. Okay, so what two things are the same? Their distances are the same when the passenger passes the freight train. Now, this is a distance, rate, time problem, and it's very important, at least it is to me, that you do some type of setup, but I think you should do a setup for any type of word problem. So for this type of problem, I would do a chart with 3 columns, distance, rate, time, and you want to fill in 2 columns completely. And then you will use the formula distance equals rate times time to figure out the third column. So what do we know? I know the passenger is 11 miles per hour faster than the freight. So we don't know anything about the freight train, his rate, so just call that X. But we know the passenger is X plus 11. Okay, we don't know anything about the distances. We don't know if it's how far they travel or anything. We just know that when the passenger passes the freight, the distances are the same. Those two distances will equal. But let's look at the time. Now, who's on the road longest? We said the freight train is. The freight train is. And how fast is each train traveling if the passenger passes the freight in 10 hours? So if the passenger has been on the railroad for 10 hours, that means the freight's been on 2 hours later, so that will be 12. So I filled in 2 columns completely. I know my rate column and my time column. I need to figure out my distance column. Use the formula. Distance is rate times time. So this will be 10 times X plus 11. And freight will be 12 times X. I multiply the rate times the time. Now you need to look and see, have you used all the numbers in the problem? Yes. You used the 2, you've used the 11, you've used the 10. So now we need to figure out, are there 2 things that are equal where we can write an equation? Yes, the distances will be the same. So set the distances equal to each other. And then solve for X. Use the distributive property. That's 10X plus 110 equal 12X. Let's subtract 12X from both sides and get negative 2X. Move the 110 to the other side. And that's going to give me X equals 55. So that's 55 miles per hour for the freight, because this is X. And X plus 11 will be the rate of the passenger. So 55 plus 11 is 66 for the passenger. So there are your 2 answers.